They had told me that the disease is incurable, and that I would be debilitated the rest of my life.
What exactly were you suffering from?
I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. I wanted to be the best basketball player ever, and crushed me. And I was like, oh, my life's over, and I was severely depressed. So at 22, I couldn't function properly as a normal human being. So the first thing that I saw was a telekinesis. I knew that was real. I was like, I've been searching for this for so long, and I was like, I knew this was real.
It really is like a like a mad scientist for sure.
The ability that he used to move the ping pong ball can also be used for healing purposes. I started following the traditional Chinese medicine concepts. He said that to himself that he wasn't going to heal anybody else because healing others with energy comes with a lot of side effects. But I'm going to heal you on my own just enough so that you can cultivate. So my man actually did a whole bunch of healing so that I could cultivate. So he would do maybe 70% of my healing, and then the 30% that was left over, I had to overcome myself.
By living with him, he was able to kind of balance you out, the yin and yang energy. And so saying, when the student ready to teach her peers or something like that,
then the universe is compelled to send down an enlightened master as one student or one disciple that he would pass on all of his knowledge to. I fell off here and there with trying to cope with normal society, but then I always come right back because I have such a good friend and mentor.
Seen a camaraderie like you guys have.
It's going.
All right, so today we're here with Coach Reza from the Team Energy Cultivation. So Reza, you have been with Amin for a very long time. How have you met Amin, and how did you guys' relationship begin?
Well, he is my teacher, mentor. I started out wanting to learn how to heal, and it turned out that he was also a master of Kung Fu, which I always wanted to learn my entire life. He was an energy master at the time that I met him, and I asked him if I could learn from him, and he's basically my mentor and teacher, and also business partner, basically best friend. We're very close.
Yeah, no, it's just. I've never seen a camaraderie like you guys have. Are you getting a call, or is that me?
Hold on one sec.
Yeah, all good. No worries.
Let me restart over.
No worries. Interruption happens all the time in interviews, so no worries. In fact, pattern interruption is a good thing. Interviews. So, okay. So yeah, that's really cool. But like I was saying, that's what compelled me to join the team too. It wasn't just Amin, it was also seeing you and how kind-hearted of a person you are, and I mean you guys have tremendously helped me out. I mean this interview is about you. It's not about Amin. It's not about me. So I don't want to spend that much time talking, but I mean I do want to tell people and let everybody on this channel know just how amazing of a person Reza is and Amin is and stuff. I mean they really, really, truly helped me out in a really, really bad time in my life. And I can't express how grateful I am to know these guys and for these guys to accept me into this team, So, and I'll make a video eventually just talking about why I joined the team, energy cultivation, stuff like that. But let's get back to Reza. So Reza, yeah. Right. So Reza, could you talk to me a little more about your illness that you're suffering with? Like, what exactly were you suffering from?
Yeah, of course. So I'm 35 now. When I was 22, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And for those that don't know what that is, it's an autoimmune disease. I was experiencing not only Crohn's disease, but several other diseases that come along with complications of the immune system. Also had issues from the age of about 17 from hard weight training and playing basketball. I really pushed my body to the limit. I wanted to be the best basketball player ever and the strongest person in the world. And I had all these aspirations to develop my physical body. And that, of course, led to, me a wear and tear. And I had a heartbreak at a young age, around 21, and at 22 actually. And then later on that year, my small intestine started becoming very inflamed. With that came the need to go see a doctor, and that's when they diagnosed me with Crohn's. I got found to have sciatica, arthritis, chronic bronchitis. What else? Asthma.
Wow.
There were so many things, allergies to several different things. Some of those things I was diagnosed years ago, but I just never dealt with them, and I just pushed them aside. And then, at the age of 22, I couldn't function properly as a normal human being. So, yeah, I had to deal with that.
Wait. So, how 24 you couldn't function at all? You said.
Well, 22 actually.
22? Okay.
22 was when the onset started to flare up so bad that I couldn't do anything. I could barely get out of bed.
Interesting. So like, how exactly did you meet him? Like, was it through a friend? Was it through? I know Amin does like raps and stuff like that. Like, how exactly did you meet him? Like,
how did I meet him?
Yeah, how did you find out about him? Like, you guys are a little bit older, and you guys didn't go to high school together or anything like that, right?
You know what's real funny? We did go to the same high school.
Oh, you guys did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually had the same. I knew the same people that he knew.
Oh.
He knew the same people that I knew.
Oh, interesting.
Some of them he was really close with. Some of his friends I was already kind of close with as well. And we had known, we had lived in the same area actually for our whole lives, which was crazy. I mean, there was a period of time where me traveled a lot when he was younger, so he didn't exactly live in the same place, but we grew up in the same neighborhood, just never crossed paths, I guess.
Oh, cool. So were you like a freshman when he was a senior?
Or? Let's see. I would have, yes, but he did not. He left the high school that I was at by the time I got into high school. So he was already in college. He kind of skipped ahead because he was like a genius, and they were like, "You're."
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Could you tell me a little more about that? So Amin was already in college when he was in high school and stuff, and.
Yeah, so like when I started high school was he's about 3.5 years older than me. So technically he should have still been in that should have been his senior year when I started my freshman year. But he got pulled out I think the year before and started attending Nova and got his GED from Nova and started attending college courses at a young age.
Oh wow, that's yeah. I mean, Amin really is like a mad scientist for sure. He's filled with knowledge, and his abilities are just crazy would be an understatement. I want to later ask you about some of the crazy experiences, energy-wise, that you had with Amin. You shared a few stories, but some of the things we can't share, like the one story you shared, that was just a little too.
Oh yeah, it's happening. Yep.
yeah, we don't want to probably share that one. But anyhow, okay. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay. So back to your healing. So you were sick, and and then sorry, yeah, we got distracted. So how exactly did you meet Amen?
Well, if you want me to start with the healing, and so there was a period of 2 years where I did not meet him, and I was coping with Crohn's disease on my own and all those other illnesses. So up until I'll talk a little bit about that, and then I'll get to where Amin came in. So for 2 years, well, actually right after I got diagnosed, I saw a doctor in Georgetown. I saw a few doctors actually, and they had told me that the disease is incurable, and that I would be debilitated the rest of my life, would not be able to lift weights, play basketball. Basically, the things that I love the most, which was physical exercise and things of that nature, the doctor said I would never be able to do, and I'd have to sit behind a desk, would not be physically active for the rest of my life. And at best, I could put the disease into remission so that I wouldn't be suffering so much. Coming from, a high-level doctor, one of the best doctors in Georgetown Hospital at the time, it crushed me. And, I was like, oh, my life's over. And I was severely depressed. So even after the hard breakup that I had, which really affected my heart and my small intestine, if you can understand Chinese medicine, they're paired organs. So having the heartbreak and the longing and the desire caused a flare up in my intestine. But then the doctor telling me that I can't do what I wanted to do the rest of my life really put me in a low state. I was very depressed. And within a few months, my mom had gone to the Korean market just to buy some things for the house. And she ran into a old friend she hadn't seen in 40 years. And the last time she saw her was in high school in Korea. And somehow they noticed each other. I came up in the conversation, and this incurable disease idea came up. And the Chinese doctor said, well, she's a Korean lady who studied Chinese medicine. She said, incurable? The disease has been around for thousands of years, and so has the cure. And my mom was like, no way. Like, that is an amazing way to look at it. What do you mean? And so she explained to her that there's a natural way that the body can heal. And when the body is deprived of what it needs to function naturally, then it's not going to be able to heal optimally. So I started, when my mom told me this, I was blown, my mind was blown, and I immediately changed my belief, which was, I'll have this the rest of my life, and, can't function as a normal person. So I went from being severely depressed to optimistic and believing in another idea, which could possibly be true. So I put all my energy and effort into what that positive belief was, not knowing what I was doing. As I do now, I understand what I was doing, why that worked. But not knowing, just kind of blindly following because it sounded way better than what these other doctors were telling me. So I listened to what the doctor told me as best as I could. I started following the traditional Chinese medicine concepts, and just follow nature. When the birds rise, you wake up. When the birds wake up, what do? They're hungry, they eat. So within the first few hours, I would eat, and then there's a certain time of the day when most animals that are up during the day need to eat. So I would eat during that period of time, and then same thing in the evening. And of course, as the night winds down, the way nature is for animals that are up during the day, they wind down as the sun goes down, and you don't do as much as you do during the daytime. So I tried to follow that as best as I could. She gave me a diet, of course, a regimen of waking and sleeping and when to eat and all that kind of stuff. And I got this herbal concoction that she made, and I had to take it 3 times a day. Now, I only took it 1 to 2 times a day, and I didn't follow exactly what she said in regards to consuming the things that I like, of course, like chocolate and candy and things like that. I cut back a lot, but I still had a little too much, I think. But anyway, with all that being said, shortly after, it was only a period of maybe 2 months, and I was out on the basketball court again. I was lifting weights again. I felt better than I had ever felt since my whole life actually, because I had actually gotten more in tune with nature and the way that I mean, God wants us to live, or the universe wants us to live, you know?
Wow.
And that it helped so much. But after that, I went back to my old ways and started going back to drinking and smoking and just partying and, you know, pushing my body to the limit again, getting all swole and, you know, trying to be an athlete. But of course, I went about it the wrong way. And about 2 years later, I was 24, I started to get really sick again.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't aware of how sick I was getting, but everyone was telling me that, you know, you're looking very pale and sickly, and I didn't pay attention to that. But internally, I felt a lot of discomfort. But I'm really good at pushing things aside and, you know, pushing forward.
Right,
So,
right. And sorry to interrupt, Reza, but you said that you were playing basketball. Were you a college basketball player?
No, I played in high school, and when I got out of high school is when I started training real hard. And actually, I trained like a college player.
But were you still aspiring to get to the NBA and stuff, or?
You know what? I did have that in the back of my mind. I wanted to play professionally. Not sure if I could make the NBA, but I did want to play professionally.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, go on. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. That was definitely a dream of mine. So yeah, that's why, like, when the doctor said that, I was shocked. But yeah, so after I started getting sick again, right before it got really bad, before like Crohn's kind of came right back, a good friend of mine that I went to high school with told me to come by and to meet a friend of his. And I guess that friend could tell that I was getting sick more so than I could even tell. And so he actually asked me to come over to meet me so that he could help me. And I didn't know that that's the reason why he was there, which was funny because the first thing that I saw was a telekinesis. And I saw him doing telekinesis with my friend.
Is that the original video of him doing the side wheel?
Well, he was doing the side wheel, and I was like, no way. And then he was like, oh, this is, I was like, I knew that was real. I was like, I've been searching for this for so long, and I was like, I knew this was real. Because prior to that, I had watched John Chang set something on fire.
So you knew of John Chang even before that?
Yeah, well, I had knew of him. I had seen one Tai Chi master using empty force and pushing one of his students. I had seen that, a Tai Chi master in the park. I'll show you, I'll tell you that video. It's about 13 years old. And then I also saw John Chang, which was also 13 years ago. And I saw him doing his setting on fire, pyrokinesis. I saw him doing a yin field, to where like he could shoot a BB gun into his hand and nothing. And I saw him doing the energy healing with the acupuncture and using chi energy to go through the patients. So I saw that and I really believed it, but the people that I associated with, they were like, oh, that's really cool, but that's bullshit, you know, or excuse my language, but that's how they were, you know, very skeptical. So in my heart, I really believed it because my mother was very adept. And when she was around 40, she started training with a spiritual teacher, one of the highest spiritual masters at the U.S. at the time. And she was able to bend a spoon with her just by holding it and using.
Wait, your mom was able to?
My mother, yes, my mom.
Really? Wow, fascinating. So your mom is a telekinetic too? Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
And she didn't learn from Amen at all. She just learned it through this other spiritual teacher that she found.
Yeah, that's why I was very open to it.
Spiritual teacher that she learned spoon bending from.
Well, her name is Ann Gaiman. She started the.
Sorry, what's her name?
Ann Gaiman.
Ann Gaiman. Oh, actually, I never heard. Like, you guys live in Virginia, right? Is the Monroe Institute in Virginia? I know it's somewhere in the west.
It is. It's in Virginia Beach.
Yeah, so it's where you guys are located, right?
Very close. That's closer to Norfolk. We're about 3 hours away.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Sorry to keep interrupting you, but have you ever heard of that Monroe Institute?
What's crazy is Ann Gaiman lived, she started a church right in Falls Church, which is like 15 minutes from us. And it was called the Church of Spiritual Enlightenment. So,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, pretty soon it'll be up. Well, by the time this video will be uploaded, it should be on. Because I interviewed Dr. Joe Gallenberger from the Monroe Institute.
Awesome.
Yeah, and he does spoon bending too. So, and I believe he's in Virginia
Wow.
as well.
You know, my mom's teacher could actually bend a rod that was like this thick, a metal rod.
Really? Wow. Yeah. Let's save all these crazy telekinesis stories for later. So back to your mother. She was pretty adept in this. She was, encouraging you to, take these herbs and pursue Chinese medicine and whatnot.
Right.
And yeah. Carry on from there.
Yeah. So that being said, I after seeing Amin and I watched the video. They showed me the telekinesis video where he was moving the ping pong ball through the plastic case, and I was like, whoa, that is really high level, because there's something in front of the ball. There's no way you could have faked that with magnets or anything, not at all, because the way that it looked, I was just like, that's real, just instantly, because I saw him do it, and then I saw the video of him doing that, and I was just like, I really want to learn. And he goes, okay, well, why do you want to learn? Or actually, the first thing I said was, will you teach me? Will you teach me this ability? And he said to me, why do you want to learn? And I said, well, I know that ability that he used to move the ping pong ball can also be used for healing purposes. And at the time, I didn't know that I needed healing.
All right, so we're gonna resume this video from the moment you met Amin and you asked him, or he asked you why you wanted to learn these metaphysical abilities and stuff like that. So go ahead and carry on with the story.
Awesome. So I asked him to teach me, and he asked why, and I said because I wanted to learn how to heal myself, and I knew that energy that he used to move the ball can also be used for self-healing. Mm-hmm. And I said, not only do I want to heal myself, but I want to do that. The reason why I want to heal myself is so that I could teach others how to heal themselves as well. And after I said that, he just felt compelled to say yes, yes, and he took me on as his one student or one disciple that he would pass on all of his knowledge to.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. He must have really. I mean, obviously, you were sick and stuff, but I'm guessing that he saw something in you. Saw some.
You're real right about that. He helped a lot of people before me. He actually worked on healing others, close friends and family. But after the side effects that he got from it, knowing this now, of course, he said that to himself that he wasn't going to heal anybody else, because healing others with energy comes with a lot of side effects, and they can kill somebody. They can kill the person who's healing others. And so he vowed not to teach anybody else. And when I said that, there's something that I learned from another high-level master that I read, and he said that when the heart of a cultivator presents itself to an ascended master or an enlightened being and shows that they want to cultivate, then the universe is compelled to send down an enlightened master to teach that person.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the old saying? When the student ready, the teacher appears, or something like that. So, like, you were literally experiencing that at that point in your life.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
But I have a feeling that he could not say no at that moment in time, based off of what I had said, and I was very sincere.
Wow. Okay.
I want to share it with the world. It wasn't just for myself,
Right. And so he took you on as an apprentice. And what are the first things that he taught you? Was it telekinesis right away, or was it the Gong, the Black Dragon Gong that you guys teach right now, or was it Qigong? Taiji, what exactly did he first teach you?
That is so. I got to think about that. The first thing he actually put me on was, I think it was the teachings of Buddha,
The teaching.
and it was the teachings of Buddha and the Tao Te Ching. He told me to get those two books and to read those. And then he also told me to look up Falun Dafa. Master
wow.
Master Hongzu, the master of Falun Dafa.
Right. Because I've heard
a lot.
Right. I've heard so many incredible stories. Can I see your doggy? What's your guys' doggy's name? You guys should introduce the channel to your doggy. What's the doggy's name?
Of course. Her name's Sammy.
Oh, Sammy. So this is their dog. So cute dog. So yeah.
Awesome. She's very sensitive to energy.
Awesome. Cool. Is she like a really spiritual dog too? Like, like spiritual people tend to have like very spiritual animals. Like my aunt, dog, she always said that her dog was like a very was like a spirit animal, for lack of a better word. She was a very special being and stuff like that. Like, do you guys feel the same about your dog as well?
Yes. Yes, definitely. She is, she's a teacher, definitely an old friend. She teaches me a lot about energy, which is amazing. She teaches me about human nature. She teaches me about nature itself. I don't know what you would call that, but yes, spirit animal, spirit guide, animal guide. I don't know what exactly that is, but she is like a life partner for sure.
Oh, awesome. That's beautiful. So sorry to interrupt you guys once again. Where were we at? So the Falun Dafa. I've obviously heard some incredible stories of people doing Falun Dafa for like 6 months and curing all sorts of incurable ailments and stuff like that.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard crazy stories like abscess like healing and stuff like that, and just all sorts of crazy stuff like teeth going and tooth, it's just all sorts of crazy stuff like so was Falun Dafa the first type of qigong that you practiced?
Yeah, that was the first form of energy cultivation I think that I practiced. Before, because Sifu Amin came up with a practice, the original energy cultivation practice. Actually, you know what? He started energy cultivation for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, he started it because of me and for me, and it's for me to run in to really take on as my own. But the reason why he started it was so that I can learn and progress and teach others. And he actually came up with a cultivation form, which we have old videos of. I don't know if they're still up, but I first did Falun Dafa. Then he came up with a more modernized form, even more modern than Falun Dafa, which was at the time the most modern high-level cultivation practice. But then he came up with another one for me to do, and a lot of our students did it as well.
Wow, very cool. Okay. Wow. So the original program of energy cultivation, I don't remember whether it was on sale anymore or not, and stuff like that, or maybe
It's all free.
Oh, it's all given for free. Okay, cool. So you guys just had the idea of turning that into a course eventually after he developed it for you and stuff like that. Okay.
Yes, it was a very high level course, but it was more for abilities, for developing abilities. So
cool, very cool.
It wasn't a complete system for cultivation itself,
Awesome.
but it was for developing cultivation abilities.
Amazing. Okay. So back to your healing story again. We got distracted multiple times, but these distractions were important to kind of get to know your story and
That's cool.
You as a person. So back to your healing. So you learn Falun Dafa, you learn energy cultivation and stuff like that. And by doing these exercises, start to notice that your body is changing, like your energy is changing, your mood is changing and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. Man. So this is going way back. I'm just trying to jog my memory. So the first thing I did was obsess over Falun Dafa and cultivation.
Mm-hmm.
So right after, so I went to, I did a little bit on my own, and I would see Sifu Amanjani about once or twice a week, and I'd stay over at his family's house. They were so nice, man. God bless them. They took me in as like their own. I would eat with them, spend weekends with them, and it was just such an amazing experience, life changing. And Amin actually did a whole bunch of healing so that I could cultivate. I remember I was so sick that I couldn't cultivate. I tried doing Falun Dafa, but it just wasn't doing enough. It wasn't doing the right things for me because I was sick. And you can't go into cultivation looking for healing. Healing is healing. Cultivation is something that is on its own. And the problem was I was looking for cultivation to heal me, and that was really causing problems with my energy. It was just causing dysfunctions with my internal organs and my energy. So Amin was like, you know what? I'm going to heal you on my own just enough so that you can cultivate. So he actually gave me his high level energy that he had at the time. And they say this happens when a student wants to learn. A high level master can directly give this cultivation energy to a student so that they can practice cultivation. And I was in such a state that I could not practice without him doing that. So he knew that, of course, and gave me enough that I could feel healed, so that I can learn how to finish the healing process. So he would do maybe 70% of my healing, and then the 30% that was left over, I had to overcome myself, because otherwise, whatever he does for me will come right back. And so he did that for me.
Wow. Incredible. Okay, okay. So he gave you a little bit of assistance with energy healing, facilitated the healing.
They call it Gong.
What's that?
It's called Gong. So it's not Chi.
Oh, the chi and the Gong part. Yeah, the Gong part is the cultivation part, right?
Gong is cultivation energy, spiritual energy that's vibrating at a very high frequency. So Chi, we're vibrating at like a then Gong is like and like going so fast. Like it's the miraculous healing energy that that people say, God heals through churches, Jesus heals, all these ascended masters that give healing to students. That's what Gong is. It's not Chi.
Amazing. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So, it's the most precious thing on earth.
Right. When was it? I mean, you're obviously an incredibly healthy person. I see you playing basketball on TikTok right now and stuff like that. When did you actually heal? Like, when was the moment you actually said, "Wow, I'm healed"?
It was a long process, man. Really long process. So I went through trying to heal on my own for a while. I actually left Sifu and went to the Florida Keys for about 3 months.
I'm sorry.
And I left Sifu, in Virginia, and I went down to the Florida Keys. I went there for about 3 months, and I thought that I could practice cultivation, and I did Falun Dafa. I did some energy exercises I did a lot of energy exercises that Sifu Amanjani taught me. One of them I remember doing was the Chi Energy Heal stuff, but before it was Chi Energy Heals, it was Chi Power. And so I was actually developing Chi Power, not knowing what it was doing to me. I was running screens through my body, doing all kinds of standing meditations for hours at a time, and abstaining from food for hours at a time. And I was actually in the sun a lot and absorbing a whole lot of yang energy. So when I came back from the Keys, all the energy that Amin had given me and used for healing, I felt so good. But when I came back, I still felt really good. I was radiating with this glowing energy. But the problem was, it was a lot of yang. I had so much yang and not enough yin. And so for the next few years, I had experienced anxiety, what else? Like extreme heat on my internal body, a lot of like little discomforts, energetic discomforts. It was really hard to deal with, but I pushed it aside and I was really numb to it. But the people around me could feel it, and it was making other people suffer. I was even frying electronics. Like my cell phone, I had to get 2 cell phones within a period of a month.
Really?
I went through 2 cell phones. My computer fried out. One of my TVs actually burnt out. Light bulbs were doing crazy things. But yeah, and people were they were feeling uncomfortable around me and they didn't know why. And it was driving me nuts because I thought I was giving them, good energy always. And their nervous systems were agitated because we're all connected. So if I'm yanging out,
Wow.
then the people who are close to me or within, my realm of thinking or thinking about me even could feel that.
Wow, interesting. Okay, so yeah, so if you guys are interested, correct me if I'm wrong, Reza, but Amin has a breakdown of what exactly yin is and yang is, and explains how both are essential towards being a balanced human being. Am I correct? Somewhere on the channel.
Yeah. He breaks it down in the courses, and we'll be coming out with a lot more courses for people who want to learn.
Cool. Okay.
Yin and yang is definitely a very important concept to understand.
Interesting.
A lot of people get it twisted. We'll make it clear.
Yeah, it sounds like it because you guys, because I'm going to be publishing my Wim Hof, my cold shower challenges soon too. But you guys have discouraged me not to do that. But I did it just for the sake of doing the challenge in the video. But I'm not going to do that permanently because you guys are telling me not to do. Because correct me if I'm wrong. Amin told me that it's heating up my body too much, right? That's yin or is that yang?
Although it does have great healing effects and can make you do some really cool things that you wouldn't normally be able to do, it's a very extreme method. And whenever you're dealing with energy, anything extreme is going to have negative side effects.
Wow. Okay.
So the subtle paths require patience and time and diligence, and those are always going to be the best ways. The most simple ways and the most subtle ways are always going to be the most beneficial ways. And some of these guys out there can do some amazing things, but it's not necessarily the best thing for everybody.
Right. Like if you go too extreme, you can have some pretty extreme side effects potentially. I kind of know what that's like because I started, because I didn't really have proper guidance. I was just like sitting in front of a side wheel for hours, for months.
That can give you a headache, can it?
Yeah, it kind of ruined my health. Yeah, honestly, doing so.
Oh no, okay, yeah.
Which is why I'm grateful you guys have kind of took me on as a second apprentice. Because because I'm really looking back on a lot of the stuff I'm doing, and I'm like, oh my God, I was wasting so much time.
No, it's not a waste. It's not a waste.
Yeah.
Everything is for learn, so you can learn and grow.
Yeah.
And now you can teach other people too. So.
Yeah, definitely. So back to your story. So
yeah,
you started balancing the yin and yang and stuff like that. Carry on from there.
Yeah. So I came back yanging out like crazy, frying electronics and just burning up inside. My nervous system was just on fire all the time. And I didn't know what was going on. So Sifu was really working with me, and it came to the point that he was like, you know what? We have to live together. I have to train you as they did back in the day. This is, even though it's 2000 and whatever it was at the time, there's the only way a master can pass on all of their knowledge to a student. And in a master's lifetime, they can only pick one to pass everything they know. They can have thousands of students, hundreds, millions of students, but because of the energy and the amount of time that it requires, and life force that it requires, there can only be one person that they actually pass every bit of knowledge that they can. Of course, reserving a little bit for themselves, but to pass on to somebody, they can only pick one. So he told me it has to be like the old school way. I have to live with him. I can't just come every once in a while. In order for me to really get what I want and to grow, I mean, I wanted Kung Fu, I wanted Tai Chi, I wanted Qigong, I wanted Telekinesis, Pyrokinesis, I wanted healing. You know, I wanted everything, and he said he would give it all to me. And the only way he could do that was if I lived with him. So I started living with him about 8 years ago.
Wow.
And it's been a healing process ever since. I'm still, I may look really healthy, thank you for saying that, but even now I'm still learning a lot and going through a lot of healing processes. I think healing is a never-ending thing. We always got to be mindful of. And you know, I fell off here and there with trying to, you know, cope with normal society, but then I always come right back because I have such a good friend and mentor. And
right. So by living with him, he was able to kind of balance you out, the yin and yang energy and stuff like that, and really.
Yeah. Giving me a lot of different. I mean, we tried so many things, and he definitely never gave up, and I'm so grateful.
That's a really beautiful story, and you know, I mean, you know, I'm going through my own healing journey as well, which with your guys' assistance, you know, I mean, you guys are helping me out tremendously, not only financially, but you know, like emotionally as well, because I really needed that, you know, brother figure that I never had. You know what I mean? And you guys have been really, you know, serving.
Likewise, man. I get that from you too. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm younger than you guys and stuff, and you know, you guys have really, played a tremendous role in my life. So, that's really cool. So, all right, so thank you for sharing that amazing healing journey that you've gone through and stuff like that. And like you said, you know, you're still learning, you're still growing. Energy is a lifestyle. Energy is an everyday thing and stuff like that. Now I kind of want to get into the fun stuff. You know, what are some? I mean, you know, you've shared some really insane stories with me when it comes to what Amin can do and stuff like that. Yeah. First of all, before we get into like, you know, some of the crazy stuff Amin has performed, could you share a little bit about some metaphysical experiences that you've had? You know, whether it's through Amin or whether it's, you know, with your mom. Anything that really stands out with you?
Sure. Before I get to that, I guess this is kind of metaphysical. So a few years ago, it was about 5 years ago, I went to see a doctor just to see, you know, for peace of mind, where I'm being with Crohn's disease. And the doctor said that it does not exist in my body. So that was kind of phenomenal because coming from a Western doctor, it's incurable. And he saw the diagnoses from several doctors from Georgetown Hospital. And when he saw that and compared it to the tests that he just took, he was like, wait a minute, this doesn't add up. Like, this is an incurable disease. You don't have Crohn's disease anymore, or bronchitis, or asthma, or arthritis. None of those things.
Makes sense.
So that was pretty miraculous. What else? You know what else? So I started noticing that people's thoughts were flying into my head.
Really?
Yes.
When did you start having those experiences?
That was shortly after I came back from Florida Keys.
Really interesting. Wow.
Yeah, I was getting, I guess my telepathy became kind of strong, but I didn't understand it. And I would get all kinds of messages from close friends and family members. I remember specifically my mother, every time she would think about me, she would always think about me out of worry. And anytime I'd feel this specific type of discomfort, it's hard to describe, but I would feel this discomfort of like a mother worrying. I'm sure you can some people can relate to that.
Yeah, I can kind of relate to that. Yeah.
So that discomfort would come in, and then I would get a thought like, don't do this, or why are you doing that, or you shouldn't be doing this, or you should be doing that. And I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on? Like, why do I feel this discomfort on my nerve? Like,
it sounds like you're becoming very empathic by doing all these energy exercises, and it sounds like you're, really turning on your intuition,
Yeah, and I was overheating though, so like it was very discomforting, and I would get the message because I lived in my mom's basement, and it would feel like she was walking on me when she's thinking about me, and she's stepping on like this, walking in the house. It would feel like someone's like stepping on my physical body. And I was like, what is this? And then I'd go upstairs, and sure enough, my mom's sitting there walking around pacing, thinking, and I'm like, Mom, are you thinking about me? And she's like, yeah, why are you going out and doing this with so-and-so? I'm like, oh my God, that's what I was feeling. So I started to put two and two together over time. And then even when I moved away, it doesn't matter how far away I went. She would have a thought or worry about me, and I had to see if it was real. So I'd call her and be like, Mom, are you thinking about me? She'd be like, no. I'm like, really? Because it really feels like you're thinking about me and you're worrying about this, and that. And she's like, well, maybe I'm worrying about that, but you shouldn't be doing that anyway. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, that's definitely what it was.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
But,
right. So, like, I believe you made a telekinesis tutorial a few years back. How far have you gone? I mean, you told me that you didn't go as far as Amen did. Like, you told me that Amen was, throwing, dropping books off the bookshelf and stuff like that, which is how far did you personally go with telekinesis?
Well, I took it just at the beginner stage. So when he showed me the side wheel and I practiced moving it with him, I'm going to put like a yin field around the side wheel for me.
I'm sorry, what now?
He put a yin field around the side wheel. A yin field, so that when I would connect with my yang energy, it would actually move.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, I learned telekinesis from guys like Trevor Seven, Sean McNamara, Michael Monk, and these types of guys. So yeah, I didn't actually learn telekinesis from Amen. So yeah, it's cool to know that he has his own technique, and I would like to learn his version of how he's doing the yin and yang stuff like that. But go ahead, carry on.
Sure. So yeah, he just to show me what it feels like. This was before I could even, like, right now I can make a chi ball anytime I want. Like, boom, it's there, right? But back then I couldn't do that. So kind of to help me to feel the object with my chi, he put that field there, and so it would respond to my energy. It was needed at the time, so he put it there, and then I would connect with the object and do the techniques that he taught me, and sure enough, that thing would move. And then I'd be like, the moment I'd stop, I'd have disbelief in my head, it'd stop. And then for the next 30, 45 minutes, hour, as long as I try to do it, no matter how hard I concentrated, no matter how much I believed I could do it, it didn't work, because there was a subconscious blockage. Not only physical blockage, because my body was still not fully opened. Of course, with when you're not healthy, your body will have energetic blockages, and things like telekinesis will not be as strong as they could be. So I couldn't move it for the next hour. And then of course, once I let it go, the idea of trying to move it, I was able to move it, no problem. And so I learned with the side wheel, and then he showed me that I could do it with a straw. And actually the straw was a very cool thing, because at first, to learn what chi energy was, I learned what static energy was. And he showed me, just rub the straw a little bit, place it on something that will allow it to spin, and you'll be able to feel the static energy, and it'll move with that. But then of course, what's happening with that static energy, that was just so that I could learn how to feel objects with energy. That's like a very low level. Eventually, I started to be able to feel the object and move it with chi energy. But again, it was just a straw, and I could get it to spin or bounce up and down, left and right. And, that was probably the extent of what I could do. Move like a light cigarette, like on a table. I could push it forward and back and roll it. But,
Oh, cool. Very cool. Okay, okay. Awesome. So, like, besides telekinesis, do you have any, I mean, you mentioned earlier that you have a little bit of intuition, so you have some intuitive abilities and stuff like that. Like, can you do, like, lucid dreaming, astral projection? Like, can you do, you know, you said that you have a pretty solid connection with animals and stuff like that. Like, is there any other metaphysical abilities that you can perform or?
I can do all of it. I just haven't practiced it. I've been, I guess, locking myself up, or my energy hasn't been able to explode and unlock. And until I can get to that point, I haven't been training or doing any of those because I didn't want to get obsessed with it, and I knew my personality, I'd get too obsessed. So I refrained from doing those kind of things. I read about it, I learned about it. I'm very interested in all those things. I know how it'll benefit me now, but before I get to those things, I want my entire body to be fully healed so that there's no energetic blockages. You know, in order to levitate, you have to be completely cleared of energetic blockages. If there's a tiny blockage in your pinky toe, you won't be able to get off the ground.
Wow.
And with that concept in mind, I'm like, you know what?
Right.
There's no point in me training these things right now because I still need to get my physical body healthy before I can go dabble into these higher level things.
Because even despite the fact that you no longer have Crohn's disease, you're still not fully, you still have a few blockages left and you're still working on them.
For sure, for sure. The disease is gone, right, but there's a lot of residual things from the wear and tear, the physical wear and tear that I pushed my body through. And even the mental, the diet things that I've done, you know, consuming a whole lot of sugar throughout my entire life.
Right.
And it plays a large role in your brain's chemistry and your connection with your body and its the nervous system. So I'm working on that to get that completely, you know, behind me.
Right, right. So you're focusing on fixing yourself first so that you can then, right, because I believe that's the way, like, you know, a lot of these Qigong masters teach their students as well, to my knowledge, because they first make them cultivate energy, you know, by practicing Qigong for several years, and then once the student passed the test, if you will, then the master starts teaching them like these underground metaphysical abilities and stuff like that. That's
a lot of reason behind that. Yep.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And for me, jumping straight into telekinesis first before doing Qigong and stuff like that probably wasn't a smart thing to do. You know? Yeah, which I mean, Amin told me like it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't matter too much because I think Amin at the end of the day knows that you can always fix yourself and that option's always there. You know, but I do. But looking back in hindsight now, I do wish that I would have, you know, started with Qigong first, you know, meditation, like you talked about the simple stuff, the basic stuff first, you know, instead of jumping into the crazy stuff first, you know, because that's what I did. Spiritual journey first. So.
You know what's awesome and I love about you is that you're an extraordinary human being. Okay, there's very few. I mean, it's rare to find extraordinary human beings. Like where I live, there's not many people who want to learn telekinesis. And the fact that you have that desire shows that you're an extraordinary person, not an ordinary person, okay? Now, that being said, because you have that desire for an extraordinary thing, it just simply means that you have the desire to cultivate energy. And although everybody has that desire in their hearts, it doesn't come out and it doesn't show. But the moment you show you want to learn lucid dreaming, astral projection, telekinesis, you know, those kind of things, that's when the universe realizes, wait a minute, this person's extraordinary, right, and he needs a teacher so that he can grow his cultivation ability, not necessarily telekinesis ability. Right. And as a side effect of developing your cultivation energy, telekinesis will become natural to you. It'll be no effort at all.
Right. Yeah, that's so true because I mean, looking back now, like I said, you know, and I don't want to take up too much time talking about myself, but yeah,
I love it.
back in hindsight, you know, really, I mean, I feel like I was just pushing energy out of my body rather than, that's why I think I got really sick and really got unhealthy over this last 2 years, because I wasn't cultivating energy. And like you said, even if I wasn't
Yes.
cultivating energy, I wasn't balancing that yin and yang and stuff like that that you guys teach and stuff like that. So I'm really learning
Yes.
a lot of tremendous stuff right now. So back to your story. So yeah, so you know, you're still holding back a little bit on learning, experiencing these metaphysical things, phenomena and whatnot. But you have obviously observed Amen over the years. You've lived with him, so you've probably seen him do some extraordinary things. Could you share a little bit of what Amen has done?
Yeah, sure. Let me see. What's the most thing? I mean, I'm gonna tell that the one where he tapped the person from really far away, because that's my favorite.
You're gonna share that story? Go ahead, go ahead. I wasn't sure if you wanted to share that story. Go ahead, go ahead.
It was only for learning purposes, so guys, don't take this the wrong way. Okay, it wasn't out of perverted mind or anything. It was all for learning purposes. So I was with Amin and his one of his music buddies, actually one of his best friends of his whole life. And so we were eating dinner, right, at PF Chang's, and after eating there, we walked outside, and you know, we were still, even me and his best friend were still kind of skeptical about this whole energy thing, because we wanted to see something like real, you know, like right in front of us, and just totally blow our mind. And he knew that, I guess, and he wasn't trying to show off. He was just trying to, you know, keep the idea alive in us so that we don't give up on it. Now that I look back, I realize that at the time I'm like, oh shit, like that was cool, but excuse my language. But anyway, so we came out of PF Chang's, and about, it was probably 100 yards away, and maybe a little bit more than that. It felt like a football field and a half. And it was like on a slope. So we're at the top of the hill, and down at the bottom of the hill, there's a girl walking. She was holding something in her hands, leaving another restaurant. I think it was like a Mexican restaurant, and she's walking out of that. Meanwhile, we're walking out of the Chinese restaurant, and we stop, and we're just talking, and you know, Amin looks down there, and he goes, "Hey, you see that girl right there?" And we're like, "Yeah." We're like, "Touch her." His boy says, "Yeah, touch her with your cheek, bro." Like he's real skeptical, right? And I was like, "Oh, I wonder if he can do that, right?" And he's like, "You want me to? Like, you really want me to?" He was like, "Yeah, man, really, do it. You can do it. Like, show us." He's like, "All right." He's like, didn't want to, but he's like, "All right, I got to show him, because this is my brother. You know, I got to keep the idea and belief alive in him." So he just went like this. It was like this with his hand, and just simply went.
Just like that.
It was like a tap, like this, right? He used no force at all. He's very soft and gentle. And the girl turns around. She turns around and is like, looks directly behind her, and then she's like, "Oh, no one's there," and turns right back around. And then we're like, "No way, no way!" And his best friend was like, "Do it again." So he was like, "All right," and taps her, and sure enough, she perks up, looks behind her. There's nothing there. Does a double check, looks behind both shoulders. Nothing there. And so his buddy was like, "What?" He's like, "That can't be real. That was coincidence. That was coincidence. Do it again. If you do it 3 times, then maybe I'll believe you." And the whole time I'm like, "Holy crap, he really touched her." And then so he does it one more time, and same thing, just a little thing. And this time she turns around real quick, looks up, sees us laughing. Not Amin wasn't laughing, but me and
you guys are probably like, "Oh my gosh, hopefully she's not gonna notice."
Yeah, we're geeking out, right? And so she looks at us and is like, "What are these like with this face? Like, could they have done that? Like, no, why are they laughing? Like, maybe they did, they're laughing," but then she just like dismissed it, like that's impossible, and just turned around, looked back one more time, I could tell in her mind, she was like, that is way too, no way, that's impossible. They couldn't have thrown something at me. No way they could have even thrown something at me. I saw that idea pass through her mind as well. And then she just carried on and kept walking. So that was probably one of the craziest things, mind-blowing things that I had seen.
Right. And you know, the empty force that Amen does to you all the time. I mean, I was so skeptical when I first saw empty force back Alexander Krakowiak, you know. But I mean, when I, you know, as I got to, you know, observe him and like, you know, him, you know, demonstrating all these crazy things with empty force and stuff. And my friend Max Reeder became Alex's student, and when he started doing it, I was like, wow, like this is real. This is crazy. And when I saw Amen doing it to you, I was like, man, I gotta learn this. So yeah.
You know, I got a lot of, disbelief and like negative feedback from all that, because I wanted to share that with all my close friends and family. And of course they're not interested in these extraordinary abilities and things like that. So to them, they're just like, yeah, right. Like, what are you doing? Why are you moving like that? Like, that guy's so much skinnier than you. Like, how are you telling me he's stronger than you? And I was like, I'm serious. I pushed with all my might. I couldn't move him. And then the energy came right back into my body and would cause me to move. And it was, that was probably one of the most amazing things ever. And the cool thing was that was very healing. When you do Tai Chi with a partner, and you're actually healing each other. It's really cool. And so that energy, as it's passing through me, although it's my own energy coming right back at me, it's refined because he, you know, goes into him, and then of course goes to the earth and comes right back out at a higher vibration. So when it comes back at me, it causes me to like do this shaking stuff, and I even go flying back sometimes because I release it. I don't hold on to it, and it's actually very healing.
Wow, amazing. Okay, cool. Well, is there any other stories? Like Amen told me in my interview with him that he levitated. Have you seen him actually levitate, or?
You know, I have not, because I remember one time he told me that even our thoughts are energy, right? So if I'm in the same room as him and my thoughts are not coinciding with his, then it's going to create a little bit of energy blockage inside of him, which is going to stop him from being able to levitate. Now, of course, if he meditated for a few hours and then decided to levitate, it probably wouldn't matter how many of us are disbelieving or have skeptical subconscious beliefs. That probably wouldn't matter. But he never he never had needed to show me that. So I think he never, you know, that never happened.
Okay, cool, awesome. Well, thank you so much for this interview, Reza. So, you know, last thing I want to ask you is like, what are your goals? What are your aspirations right now? You said that, you know, in your 20s you had aspirations to become a professional basketball player, play in the NBA and stuff like that. What are your goals now? What are you striving to in life right now?
Well, my main goal is to help heal the earth.
Awesome, from the coronavirus and all that kind of stuff.
Well, no, I want to share energy cultivation with the world.
Awesome.
My goal is to teach everybody how to cultivate energy, just as you would cultivate a plant or a flower, and teach people how to treat their body as a small seed that they've planted, and to really learn about cultivation, how to cultivate, and why it's important for them to grow as a person, as a mind, body, and as a spirit. So that's my main goal, of course, to help heal the world and heal people through energy cultivation, teach people how to heal themselves. I want the world to know how to do this, and everybody on this planet to be able to do it safely, and for themselves to heal, and so that the earth can heal, so that the universe can really learn through us. That's my main goal. Smaller goals. Since I was a child, I wanted to teach kids. And as an adult, I've been teaching children for about 20 years through basketball and sports. So I know that's a great way to reach out to a wide variety of people. And so one of my goals after meeting Amin, he helped me to kind of see one of my goals was to create this program and a platform where kids can come and learn anything that they want to learn, not, from sports to health to growth, all kinds of things. So I called it True Balling, and that's one of my businesses I want to do on my own. But my main thing is energy cultivation, and what else? I had a few things. I want to make some telekinesis videos. I actually want to learn it now. Maybe not right now, but in the next year or so. I want to learn it so that I can develop it in a way that's safe and people can learn as well. So awesome. I think I'm going to do that and delve into more lucid dreaming. I really want to learn lucid dreaming because I know that is a very important thing for all of us as a spirit to grow, for our spirit to really go into our bodies. A lot of us are disconnected, as I have been.
Right.
And that's one way to kind of bring that.
Really awesome. Well, those are really, really good goals. I mean, obviously, I'm part of the team now and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I'm in, didn't quite take me on as like a full-on apprentice where I'm living with you and stuff, but he pretty much answers any question that I have and stuff like that.
You are a direct student. You are his direct student. Like, yes. Other than me, you're like the next, like,
the next,
tier. Like,
the generation, if you will, me and Genetic Awakening.
You're the next generation, yes. You and Wayne are the leaders of the next generation, and you guys are who we're passing energy cultivation on to. So everything you're doing, I'm so grateful for. And
well, thank you. I'm just really truly grateful to be a part of this team and with you guys and stuff. And I mean, for me, my decision making didn't just come from Amin. It came. You were a huge factor too, because obviously Amin is such a great human being, and obviously his demonstrations were just super good. And stuff like that, and and he's a great teacher as well, because you can have good abilities, but you can also be like a bad teacher. I've seen a lot of those people, not that they're a bad person, but they're not good at explaining things thoroughly and stuff like that. But Amin's very articulate, very intelligent. He's able to break down a lot of these complicated concepts, very easily and stuff like that. And
yes. And my goal is, when I'm done making energy cultivation what I want it to be, I'm passing it on to you.
Awesome. Well, yeah.
It'll be your responsibility. It's a lot. All right, so don't forget that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If our, we'll see how our whole relationship works out. I mean, if I can end up becoming like your apprentice, if Amin can sort of be like the grandmaster, and that'll be kind of cool too. You know what I mean? Like, where you're my master and he's kind of the grandmaster and stuff like that. If that's kind of how it's all going to play out, then I'm totally cool with that as well. I'm just, like I said, super excited to be on this team. Just letting the audience know right now, because I'm pretty much taking care of the majority of the marketing right now, and the channel optimization, stuff like that, while these guys are focusing on the course creation and teaching pretty much. So yeah, our current goal, I'm going to try to push to get 100K subs by the end of the year. I'm going to try to achieve that. Even if I don't, I will try to achieve that by July 1st, 2000, where you're at, so 2021, July 1st. By then, I want to have at least 100K subs. That is my goal. I believe I can do it sooner, but it's really time for me to, take my years of experience in marketing and stuff like that to really showcase my skills and showcase what I can do and stuff like that, because I really truly align with their beliefs and their vision and where they want to take, their knowledge and spirit of the world. I really truly align with their vision. So that's why I joined this team, and yeah, I mean, the support they've
We're so grateful to have you, man. You don't even know.
Thank you. Well, I'm just as great. I'm seriously to say, yeah, the honor is really mine. So, yeah. So like I said, guys, we're really taking this channel to the next level, the next level, because you guys had good content, but you guys weren't doing like the proper optimization and stuff like that. You guys, were uploading videos on a regular basis, stuff like that. Now we're uploading every single day. So. Yeah, so
yeah, couldn't do it without you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Wow.
We're gonna really take this channel to the next level. I mean, team energy cultivation. Seacom and Johnny, we're gonna take this mainstream. So we're not gonna just make this like the biggest thing in the telekinesis niche, the energy niche, and the qigong niche. We're taking this to like our goal is to make this, as big as a company like Mind Valley, a company like Tony Robbins or whatever, like that. That's our vision. Our vision, we're.
Can I add one thing?
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Energy cultivation started about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been such a long journey. And it's come to the point that, we've learned so much, we've grown so much. And now this is the point in time where I think the world is asking for energy cultivation.
Right.
And I think 10 years ago, we really wanted to do it. We had so much energy to put into it. It's just, I guess it didn't work out. It wasn't the right time. And, I look back at it, I did look back at it and think, God, man, like I should.
Right.
But it's because we didn't have you, guys like you, man.
Oh, thank you.
You with us.
Now
I see.
Everything is timing. Like you said, everything is timing, in life, because, because 10 years, because look back 20 years ago, like, if you would have said meditation, people would have kind of like laughed at you, and 10 years ago, it started to kind of become a little more acceptable now. I'm talking to girls on, Facebook dating and stuff nowadays, and it's just, girls are like, some girls, see my meditation picture and stuff, and they say like, wow, that's really cool. 10 years ago, that would have been impossible, so right. It was possible. It was starting to get mainstream, but now it's like totally, it's just common knowledge now. It's totally acceptable. A lot of people, like the Wim Hof method. The fact that the Wim Hof method is, featured, on YouTube, and like a lot of self-help gurus are like, pushing it now. Energy has really came a long way, and I really truly feel that it's guys like us that's gonna like, really take it to the next level. My friends like, like Knut Sudan and Gemma Cook and Nico Morales and Max Reeder and all these friends that I have in the telekinesis community. All these guys, all of us, I think, are really gonna take this knowledge to the next level, and really, really, truly, build a beautiful world. So yeah, I think we're in the forefront of doing something really amazing. I believe in
Yes, sir. Best time is right now.
History. So yeah. So I'm really excited for this. So
likewise, man. I'm so excited too. I'm trying to hold it back, but I'm very excited.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, guys, and thank you, Reza. A lot of interruptions, a lot to talk about, but I think every interruption we had was essential. Every conversation, every little things we talked about were essential to get to understand who you are and your journey and stuff like that. Thank you so much for this interview, and in the future we might do a part 2. Maybe we could do like a three-way between you, me, and Almond. So yeah, maybe we can do
something fun.
So, yeah, like a 3-way. That way we can kind of see from both of your perspective on like how you guys have came together and stuff like that, and your guys' journey and all that kind of stuff, and how the apprenticeship and the all that kind of stuff worked out and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be really cool.
I'll be honored.
Yeah. So all right, guys,
I'm very honored already.
You guys take care, and definitely check out the links below, and we'll see you guys soon. So
thanks for watching, guys. Thank you, Ken.